Hello, and welcome to Health is Wealth. I'm Evelyn Collier-Dixon, your host for today, sitting in for Miss Bernetta Pearson. We have Miss Janice Henry, who's also a nurse, answering our phones today. And we are so honored to have today as our guest none other than the president of the Chicago Chapter National Black Nurses Association, Miss Ellen Durant. Hello, Madam President.
Hello, Reverend Dixon.
And welcome.
Welcome. Thank you for that kind introduction.
You're welcome. Before we get into our show, Miss Durant, I just want to verify that you are the 14th president of the Chicago Chapter National Black Nurses Association, right?
Precisely.
Okay. So now just help me, let me see if I have it right. I want to go in order of the presidents that you've had since 1973, okay?
Okay.
The first president you had was the late Reverend Christine Leak, who was the daughter-in-law of A.R. Leak, right? Is that correct?
That's correct.
And then you had Miss Thelma Miller. That was our second president, right? C. Kim Lindsay, the third president. Miss Betty Lewis was our fourth president. Miss Margaret Ann Davis, our fifth president. Dr. Shirley Howard, who was the sixth president. Miss Azella Collins was the seventh president. Our own Bernetta Pearson was our eighth president.
Yes.
Dr. Sandra Webb Booker was the ninth president. Yours truly, Evelyn Collier-Dixon, was the 10th president. Miss Marion Summich was the 11th president. Miss Carolyn Rimmer Owens was our 12th president. Dr. Daisy Herman Allen is our immediate past president and the 13th president, right? And you, Madam President, is the 14th president. I say congratulations to you.
Thank you, Reverend.
And welcome. Madam President Durant, just share with us who are the Chicago Chapter National Black Nurses Association and what do you do?
In essence, the Chicago Black Nurse Association was born out of a group of dissatisfied black professionals who tired being ostracized, and they decided to take into their hands and saw a vision to start an organization. It was launched by the late Reverend Christine Leak at 1973, and here we are today, 44 years later, and we're still viable.
Okay. All righty, very good. So you say you started in 1973.
That's correct.
Wow, you've been around for 40 plus years, huh? 44 years. Amazing, amazing journey for the Chicago Chapter National Black Nurses Association.
That's correct.
Now let me just ask you, Madam President, who are some of your affiliates? Who does the Chicago Chapter line up with? Can you share that with us?
Yes, we are. The Chicago Chapter is an affiliate of the National Black Nursing Association, headquartered in Maryland, and we're number 100th, in addition to one chapter that is located in the Virgin Islands. Our national president is the Honorable Eric Williams, the first male to become president.
Wow. So you're telling us that you have 100 chapters in the National Black Nurses Association?
We surely do.
Okay. And you're saying that Dr. Eric Williams is your national president and he's the first male?
The first male.
Wow, interesting history. Very good, very good. All right then, so how many and maybe I can answer this, but I'm asking you, Madam President. Throughout the nation, how many nurses does the Black Nurses Association serve? It's like 150,000 or more, right?
Upwards of 150,000.
Wow, isn't that interesting? Well, share with us some of your other affiliates, Madam President. Okay, you want to go there? You can go there for me, and then we will. I'll ask my next question. Okay.
Our membership comprised of African American nurses in practice across the full nursing spectrum,
Okay.
and include registered nurses, licensed practical nurses, licensed vocational nurses, advanced practice nurses, student nurses, and retired nurses as well.
Oh my goodness! So you're saying even if you're retired, you can still be in the organization?
That's correct.
Wonderful. That is just good to know, Madam President. All right. And are there any other affiliations that you have with other organizations or sororities or that type of nursing effort?
Yes. Chicago Chapter Black Nurses comes together once a year with two sororities and an alumni. We join forces with Chi Eta Phi sorority, Lambda Pi sorority, and Provident Hospital alumni.
Okay.
So February is the month dubbed as the Black Nurses Month nationally.
Okay, so you do this nationally as well as locally? Is that what I'm hearing?
But we're recognized nationally.
Okay, very good. Okay, so now these nursing sororities, these are nursing sororities, right?
They are.
Okay, and they come in together and you honor nurses who have made contributions in certain areas. Is that what I'm understanding that you're saying?
So correct, Reverend Dixon.
Okay.
They're applauded for their efforts to the community and the transports to our people. They are encouraged to go on and encourage other nurses to follow suit.
Okay, sounds like a very interesting event.
It
okay, and you say this happens once a year?
Once a year in February of each year.
Okay, very good. We'll look forward to that.
Yeah, and thanks to the pioneering work of Dr. Sandra Webb Booker.
Okay, very good. Kudos to her. Okay, and now just share with us, what are some of your initiatives that the organization is embarking upon? And when I say that, I mean nationally as well as locally. What are some of the things that you're doing?
To begin with, we provide mentoring
Okay.
for students and encouragement. In so doing, we nurture upcoming professionals and we see them through the entirety of their journey.
Let me stop you there. You said you provide mentoring and you see them through their entire journey. What does that mean?
As long as they're students and have not graduated, we make sure that we provide support for them, moral support,
Okay.
and have them not be so fragile.
Okay. Well, that sounds really good. And some of the other initiatives that you're doing apart from mentoring are?
We had an edict from the national president to embark on the violence initiative,
Okay.
which we did on a large scale. Last year we had a town hall meeting which was able to heighten the awareness of the citizens. We had other initiatives. This year we were able to celebrate or commemorate the violence abatement day. Some of our members, Reverend Dixon, as a matter of fact, you wrote an article which is being is being published.
It was interviewed.
It was interviewed by Channel 7.
Channel 2.
Channel 2.
Right,
sorry.
exactly. By CBS.
By CBS. Thank you for the correction.
Yes.
And another member of ours, she saw fit to have attention drawn to the victimized violent ones, and had a nice affair for them where they were made pretty, given a little tiara, gloved, and felt like real nice people again.
Okay, so you're saying that the black nurses came together and this is what they did for those persons who had been victimized?
Yes.
Wonderful. Oh, sounds like black nurses are doing some real positive things.
Yes.
Okay, any other initiatives that the Black Nurses Association are engaged in?
Well, distantly, we are engaged in a global initiative. As you all know, global health constitutes the health of a population in that context. Our national president has launched a nursing school in Haiti.
Wow.
So we're promoting, we're supporting his efforts. There are also nurses in other states who are visiting countries away from home, in Africa and the islands.
Wow.
So that is our the extent of our global.
And when you say global, that means that it's just not limited to Chicago or states within the United States. That means that they're going abroad. Is that what I'm hearing?
That's what it means.
Wonderful.
Precisely.
And then you said that our national president, Dr. Williams, has launched a program in Haiti?
Indeed, he has.
Wow.
It's a very successful nursing school.
Uh-huh.
And they had their first graduation in the fall of last year.
Okay, wonderful. That sounds like an interesting project that the National Black Nurses Association is engaged in.
Yes.
All right, can I go back, Madam President, to you said that you provide mentoring and you provide that locally. Now, if I'm a student and I'm in need, I'm a struggling nursing student, and I want to get in touch with you, I would wonder how would one go about doing such a thing, and if I could just share it with the viewing audience, how they can get in touch with, we're gonna get this right here in a minute. Okay, so Madam President, can I just say then how they can contact us? Can I just tell the audience that? Okay. The Chicago Chapter National Black Nurses Association, and our website is the exact same, Chicago Chapter National Black Nurses Association.org. You go to that website, download an application, and you mail it to the P.O. Box number that is affixed to that application. And if you want to, you can call us at 773-792-7222. Let me repeat that. The website is Chicago Chapter National Black Nurses Association.org. And the phone number is 773-792-7222. Mail that application to us, and we will certainly ensure that your questions get answered as well as your application be reviewed, okay? All right, thank you, Madam President. So for struggling students, and those students have to have, what, a financial need, or what constitutes a struggling student?
A disadvantaged life, financial needs, support system, but they're encouraged nevertheless to keep on. And the black nurses are here for them, to encourage them.
Very good.
And provide monetary help.
Okay. And then I keep coming back to this part where you said that if I'm a struggling student and if I meet the criteria, then you'll follow me all the way through my nursing career?
That's correct. That's correct.
Wonderful. That's good to know.
Ensure progress.
Okay, very good, very good. Okay, and Madam President, I just can't not let you leave, or we cannot leave without talking about the epidemic that has plagued our nation. And certainly we know that our city, Chicago, is definitely plagued by the epidemic of violence. And when I say violence, I'm talking about gun violence, domestic violence, human trafficking, bullying, and many more. Can you just tell us what's the Black Nurses platform on getting to, I can't say the bottom of, but what are we doing to show our solidarity with other organizations in regards to this epidemic?
Black nurses join forces with other organizations that have like interest.
Mm-hmm.
Organizations such as we join forces with churches, community organizations. We are active with the police department to see their side of what's happening. And then there are a myriad of things that we do creatively to stem the tide of violence. It's not an easy job, because it's one of the plagues of this society.
Mm-hmm.
But we're constantly doing something in order to help to stem the tide of this plague.
Okay. And let me just also say, Madam President, thank you so much for that, and thank you so much for your organization and their participation in trying to get to the bottom of this and to be one of the key players in resolving. But you know, nurses are affected by this because, you know, the trend now for nursing is going into the community. When we go into the community as nurses, we are subject to all types of violence in our neighborhoods. If you're a home health nurse, you go into the homes of your clients and you don't know what you're going into. And certainly it's very, very unsafe nowadays. So we have to always be vigilant, right?
That's correct.
In our goings. When we're in the hospital settings and as the victim comes into the emergency setting, the first person that they encounter is the nurse. All right?
That's
and I'm not
correct.
just alluding to Black nurses, even though we're Black nurses, but we're talking about nurses across the spectrum. The first persons that they encounter are the nurses. And then we have to also know that they don't always come alone. When the victim comes to the emergency room, so often the perpetrator comes too. And they follow them, which puts us in a very endangering situation.
Yes.
So we have to be prayerful, we have to stay vigilant, and we have to know how to deal with those type of situations, right?
That's
So nurses, and then not only that, once if they are admitted to the units, to surgery, then the nurse has to be the one to take care of them, right? The victim I'm talking about, as well as dealing with the family. So we have a lot of social issues that we have to deal with, as well as dealing with mental issues, dealing with all kinds of issues. So nurses have to be prepared, right? And would you say that as Black nurses that we certainly are prepared, or we stand abreast by keeping ourselves involved in the loop and knowing what to do in the case of emergencies, in case of violence or some things like that? Would you say that we as Black nurses are keeping ourselves prepared and in the loop of that? Would you say that, Madam President?
I would say so, because Black nurses, the landscape, the healthcare landscape is changing. So more and more, the nurse has to be into the community,
Okay.
be part of the community, educate the community. We are really dedicated to excellence in nursing and giving back to our communities. So that follows that we are out there with them and the forefront of everything. So black nurses are always there in the hospitals, in the emergency rooms, in the community, in the homes for that matter.
Very good. Very good. Go ahead.
So we also have to be aware of burnout phenomenon.
Okay. Okay. Now, what does that entail?
That entails taking on so much of the problems and you're not able to vent. So the nurse has to be understanding and realize when to pull back, even though it's a necessary job. So nurses have to wear many hats. Nurses are wearing many hats.
Right. So when your mission says that you advocate,
Yes.
sounds like to me that's exactly what you're doing, right?
Yes.
All right. Can I just read a couple of your mission statements here, and let's see if your black nurses are truly lining up with it. One of the objectives of the National Black Nurses Association, certainly Chicago chapter follows along with, is you define and determine nursing care for the black consumers for optimum quality care by acting as their advocates. And that sounds like to me, Madam
Advocates.
President, what you're doing, okay? You act as a change agent in reconstructing existing institutions and help to establish institutions to suit our needs. And I know for a fact that we do that because we go to the different schools, we sit on the advisory boards at these different schools to ensure that these institutions are being fair and equitable across the board, right?
That's so correct.
All right. Okay, we serve as a local chapter of the NVNA to influence legislation. This is very, very key and pivotal here. And policies that affect black people and work collectively and collaboratively with other health workers to this end. That is key because we know about our legislators.
We certainly do.
We certainly do. And that's why we've always said how important it is that someone who looks like us and someone who has the same culture as we do is sitting at the table for us because no one knows how our community is affected like we do. Am I right about
You
that?
are correct.
Okay.
And with that being said, we, having engaged in advocacy, we take on community health education as one of our chores. We volunteer services, activities aimed respectfully and or legislative regulatory bodies of government, the public at large, and the underserved population throughout the Chicagoland area.
Oh, okay. So the underserved, I like what you said, that the
yeah.
under and unserved,
Yes.
which really is us.
Yes.
Right, okay, and our people,
So
right?
we identify with people that look like us.
Yes, okay, all right. Then I'm reading here, Madam President, that you conduct, you analyze, and you publish resources to increase the body of knowledge about health care and health needs of the black people. So you guys are not only doing what you do, but you're also publishing what you do, right?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Researchers in our
Research is a part of your mission. Okay, and we have, you're saying you have researchers in your
in
body.
our organization.
Wonderful, okay. And you compile and maintain a local and state directory of all black nurses. I know that you do that because when the black nurses in the community, I don't know if you do it for all nurses, but you definitely do it for your members, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And then you set standards and guidelines for quality, quality education of black nurses on all levels. You recruit, you counsel, and assist black persons interested in nursing to ensure a constant progress of black in the health care field of nursing. I got the wrap-up sign, and I'm going to make this announcement, and then I'm going to show it. This is an announcement about the Community Collaboration for Summer Youth Work Experience, CCSW. It's a Loretta Youth Healthcare Council initiative. And what they are doing, this is their third annual community benefit, and it's a tribute to legends. There's going to be a band, the Conquest Band, and then it's going to be held on Thursday, June 29th at 6 p.m. I'm going to put this up for your viewing, and then we're going to let you see this if you can, and then we're going to wrap it up. That's a tribute to legends at Loretta Hospital. We certainly want to thank you for joining us today for Health is Wealth, and we just want you to know that health definitely is wealth. And if you don't have your health, you can have all the wealth that you want, and it matters absolutely nothing. So we would say to you, stay healthy. Keep your mind healthy. Keep your bodies healthy. And that way you will be wealthy. And we thank you so much for joining us today. I want to thank Madam President Durant for joining us, and Janice Henry on our phones. We thank you so much for joining us today.